All right, I'm going to go ahead and begin the archive. This is the Technology Assessment Feedback by Hollyn Fertig. Sorry, I lost control of my slides there for a second. So this is Group 3. Group 3 members are Forrest, Nicole, and Tyler. My ranking criteria, this is how I'm going to go ahead and rank everybody's presentations. First is the technology assessed was clear and relevant. It's all going to be based on a scale of 1 to 3. Second is issues why this technology needs assessed. Third is supporting research to verify the issues. And last is analysis of the current policies. So I'm just going to go through in the order that everybody gave their presentations during our meeting. First was Forrest on his technology assessment of electronic cigarettes. The technology was described clearly and was something that is relevant in our everyday lives as college students. I gave Forrest a 2 here just because I felt that Nicole's technology assessment was just a little bit more relevant to us. Forrest was still pretty relevant though, and I think all of them were, but I just gave him a rank 2 just because of how I felt where it lied on the scale of 1 to 3. Second, the issues of health were brought up as a main concern here. I mean, as this technology grows, I agree with Forrest that this technology definitely needs to be thoroughly assessed. I gave him a 1 here because he did a good job bringing up this issue of health, and when he did his technology assessment, the health was definitely brought up as one of the key values. Third, he cited many different sources of where his information came from and used it well throughout his presentation to support his claims. I gave him a 1 here just because I felt he did a really good job of finding good information and good sources, and he put that in really good places throughout his presentation. And lastly, he did a strong analysis of the current policies and gave good reasons for why there's need for new policies. I gave him a 1 here because he did a good job analyzing these current policies and how they're too weak and they don't do enough to regulate what goes into what is being smoked in these electronic cigarettes. And I thought he gave a good reason for why there's new policies needed on, things to regulate what goes into these e-cigarettes. The next presentation was Tyler Miller on pickup truck technology. I thought he did a really good job of describing the technology he wanted us to assess and how modern pickup technology is still a relevant issue. I gave him a 3 here just because I felt that the other issues seemed a little bit more hard-pressing, and while it's still relevant, it's not necessarily relevant to everybody. He did a really good job presenting these issues of why this technology needs assessed based on current and new technology. However, again, I felt that these issues didn't really feel as urgent because Forrest and Nicole both brought up issues of health in theirs. Although I still feel that his points were valid and that this technology definitely needs to be assessed. It was definitely clear that he did his research to support why these issues needed assessed, and he explained the issues with pretty strong research. That's why I gave him a 2. I felt that he had the numbers to explain why this pickup truck technology was outweighing the current licensing standards, and I thought his research definitely showed that he knew what he was talking about here. And lastly, he analyzed the current policies and explained why there's a need for new policies to match where the current technology is. And I think the main point that he brought up here that I liked was how these trucks can tow more than people with a standard license are licensed to be able to tow. And if these trucks are capable of doing it well, and they research shows that they can do it safely, there's definitely a need for the policies to be updated in licensing to allow people to get the most out of this new technology that they're buying here. I gave him a 2 because I thought he did a really good job. I just thought Forrest did a lot stronger of a job in his research. Last was Nicole Kreider on 5G networking. I gave her a 1 here because I felt that this was the newest technology that was brought up, and I thought it was relevant to everyone, and I thought she did a really good job explaining this. The health issue was brought up as one of the main concerns with this new technology. She did a good job bringing up radiation exposure numbers, and she really used that to show why this technology needs assessed. I gave her 2 here just because I felt that while these numbers were strong, I thought Forrest did a little bit better job of bringing up numbers and research to show why the technology needs assessed. She did good research to verify the issues, and her comparison of the U.S. radiation to exposure and Germany exposure was really good to show that there definitely is an issue here in the U.S. that needs brought up. I gave her a 3 here because I felt that she probably could have gone a little bit further in bringing up issues here, especially with the health being brought up. I thought a little bit more research could have been done there to show how the health was a concerning issue to everybody. And lastly, the policies analyzed show that there's definitely a need for new policies here in the U.S. I gave her 3 here because, again, I felt that there could have been a little bit more research done, a little bit more analysis done of the policies. Again, I remember her talking about the standards of radiation exposure from Europe and Germany in specific being like the number was 2 or 3, and then in the U.S. the number was over 600, which definitely shows that there's definitely a need for the U.S. to do something about health moving forward with these new technologies. The final rankings here, I total up all the scores and have everybody ranked. Forrest had the lowest number, which is in my opinion the highest. I thought he did a really good job with his presentation. And Tyler and Nicole, I thought they both did a really good job too. And the total tallies came out to have their numbers exactly the same. So this is where I felt everybody lied in their final rankings. I thought everyone did a good job overall. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here.